Hello and welcome back, BuckPole viewers. This is David, and this particular video is going to be on how to make pretty much any tree stand quieter. Ultimately, your goal is to have an absolutely silent stand. I know for a fact because I've owned them, even the Lone Wolf, the XOP type stands, the cast aluminum platforms, while they're solid and they don't have that tinging metal sound that you get when you tap one of those or bump up against any of that. I mean, all that makes noise, so that can kill your hunt fast. So if you're here and you're watching this, you're probably trying to figure out how to make your stand as quiet as possible, because you don't want to give away your location and you want to tag a decent deer. One thing that I will recommend is you go buy a can of great stuff. Expandable foam. Probably the best thing you can do if you were to do one thing is fill the pipe with this. It's not a cure-all, but it will take care of a good majority of what you need. Next, I went and grabbed just a cheap roll of 100-foot. Actually, I can't even say a cheap roll. I got Paracord Planet paracord, and their paracord's pretty good. It holds up really well to the weather. It will sun fade eventually and it'll wear out a little bit, but it holds up really well, so I like it, and I usually keep about 8 or 10 extra 100-foot hanks of paracord around. So definitely something that I would recommend is having a little bit of paracord on hand. I also recommend keeping spare bike tires. When my kids pop a hole in a tire or something, I take it and I save the actual parts from the tire. Especially the inner tube really can come in handy for stuff. So the first thing I would do is, before I even bother to assemble the tree stand, when you have it apart like this, it is so much easier at this phase to just stop right here and to fill as many cracks, spots, gaps, holes, pipes as you can. The more you can fill, the better off you are. This stand that I did get, especially if you watched my video on the initial thoughts on this big game prodigy, you can tell that it's pretty loud. I mean, I moved these around a little bit and you can tell it's loud. Like, it hits stuff and it's loud. And if I can hear it that well in here and you can hear that well on the camera, a deer is going to hear that from a couple hundred yards away, and he or she will avoid you like the plague. So, one thing I do like is that it has these nylon washers in them right off the bat, and it also has the ends of the cable. It has shrink wrap on them, so that right there will help deaden the sound of any of the cable noise and stuff. Definitely a good point to start at. Most stands, let's see if I can get this into focus for you guys, make it a little easier for you to see it. Most stands will have, let's work on this a little bit for you so you can actually see it. There we go, a little bit better. Right there. There's that little spot right there about in the center where the weld joint is. They got that little crack there. Typically that has to be done just to be able to allow gases to escape from the weld when they weld it up. So when they leave that little gap, it also is beneficial for you and I to be able to put something in there and fill the pipe with expandifoam. So the easiest way I do it is I start out and I put just a real little bit in, and I kind of keep my thumb in an area where it may blow out of. And I don't really go too crazy starting out when I do this, because I don't want to blow a whole bunch of expandifoam in there in one shot. I want it to kind of just sit in there itself. I want it to expand out. And if anything, I'd want it about half full, and then it's easier to come back to it and redo it than it is to overdo it and try to clean it off. So I'm gonna fill both of these main ones. These are definitely areas that concern me because they really clank and make a lot of noise, and they're very hollow, and there's no end protection on them at all. So I'm gonna hit both of those up. You want to try to clean the tip off of it as best you can when you pull them out of these areas, because you don't want to get a bunch of expandable foam all over the place. So I go through, I start out there, and I just keep going, trying to fill in and fill any cracks, crevices, anywhere I can. So you don't need to stand here or sit here and watch me fill every ounce of this entire tree stand. I'm pretty sure you get the idea to fill as much as you can. So I'm going to cut you guys out, and I'll bring you back when I come back to my next tip. We have gone through, and I've sprayed down with expandable foam the inside of all the pipes that I can get the foam tip into. I've also taken the time to assemble the actual platform and the seat together, all into one piece, so that all this is good to go, so you guys don't have to watch me ratchet a few things together. Not worth your time. I'm pretty sure you can read the instructions and figure it out, or you probably have enough mechanical aptitude to figure it out yourself. Next, what I'm going to do is, I don't like how much noise this grate makes. That is a downside to a steel stand over a cast aluminum stand, is you're going to have a lot of noise because of the way the stands are designed. What I do is, to try to negate this, there's two things you can do. You can grab like a Flex Seal or whatever the Rust-Oleum version of a Flex Seal is, and you can spray this down, and if you spray this down, it'll take a lot of that twangy sound out of it. I don't have any Flex Seal, so the next best thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it with paracord along the posts, the front, the sides, and then hopefully down these two center struts as well. And that'll help deaden the sound quite a bit, and you won't get that twangy noise. So what I am going to do is I'm going to pause you guys, because you don't need to sit there for 20 minutes watching me wrap this thing up in paracord. I'm just going to use real basic paracord, Planet paracord that I got, that I have laying around, and I'm going to wrap this to the best of my ability, and then from there, worst case scenario, if I have to, I'll try to weave it in between these grates. As large as the grates are on this big game tree stand, it makes it really, really hard to quiet it down because the grates are so large. I think they made the grates large to make the stand cheaper, and it definitely shows in the stand being cheaper. So another reason why I'm not the biggest fan of this stand, but like I said, if you watch my other video, I got it at a right price, 25 bucks. So hard to beat. I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to bring you guys back with a little closer view, hopefully, of it, to show you what I actually did to it. Welcome back, and this is the tree stand completely wrapped. I know I said I was going to wrap these outside edges, but every time I kept brushing this grate, I couldn't let go of the fact that it sounded like I was playing with tuning forks. So finally I broke down, and I started running the 100-foot length of paracord, the entire length, weaving it in between everything all the way back, up and down, and then I went side to side as well. So now I run my fingers over it, and you don't get that metal tinging sound that you get with a metal stand. So I can handle the like little bit of a thud sound drastically better than what it was before. I also roped in the front of this right here, and I set it up so that my length of cord for raising my bow or my gun up to my tree stand is hooked up so it's hanging right off the front of my platform. So that'll make it a little easier for me getting into and out of my stand, to be able to just take this and put what I need on it and be good to go. So those are a couple tricks and tips, and I hope they help you guys out. I'll probably be doing another video on this one down the road. and seeing how much of a difference like the Flex Seal or the Rust-Oleum version of the Flex Seal does for it, because this stand, even with the help of this paracord, it still, I mean, it's, you guys can hear it's drastically better. These pipes still have that kind of metal sound to them, so I gotta be real careful with those, and I'm real worried about those. But like this one here and this one here aren't too bad, but the outside one's got a little bit of a ting sound to them still. So hopefully you guys found this helpful, hopefully you found it useful, and hopefully we can shoot a nice buck out of this on opening day of the Wisconsin gun deer season. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and you have a great day.